Hey friends, this is John Klein III with episode 69 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we are going to review X-Men Volume 6, Issue 27. So let's get to it. Once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. I appreciate it and you. And this is also the 2001 volume, if you like your years instead of numbers. And this is written by Jerry Duggan. Phil Noto is the artist. Letterer V.C. Clayton Cowles. And design is Tom Muir and Jay Bowen. There was a slew of variant covers. V.C. Clayton Cowles does the production. Associate editor Lauren Amero. Editor Jordan D. White, and Editor-in-Chief C.B. Cebulski. I don't know if this is on every one of these, but X-Men created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And my favorite comic series of the Fall of X continues to be so. So the cover is Cyclops in his ex, I was going to say his current ex-prison state, but I don't know what you call it. This where he resides. His eyes are all sewn up. His mask is, or his head sock is torn. There's no visor, of course, and he's just having the worst of times. And then the issue opens with Shadow Kate narrating. The truth is, while you slept, the world changed. There are secret prisons growing like tumors across the world, like the Henry Gyrick Re-Education Center on Randall's Island in New York. Before this war is over, I'm going to see all the prisoners freed. But I'm going to take my time with the bronze of Henry Gyrick. Maybe I'll slag it. Maybe I'll sink it to the ground. Sink has tasked me to take in census of mutants because we are all X-Men now. And it sort of bugs me because I don't know if Noto is the color artist or does that fall onto the production designers, but like there is a softness to these opening pages that I don't know. I don't know. Like it's not a mutedness, but you can definitely tell. Like, oh yeah, these are sad times for the X-Men, but there's also a softness. Like maybe there's a chance it's gonna turn around. I don't know. The coloring has made me appreciate the atmosphere of the comic. My name is Catherine Pride, and I'm wanted for crimes against humanity that I didn't commit, so I'm sneaking around in one of my old aliases, Shadow Kate. It takes a lot to surprise me these days, but today's my day. She's so surprised she has to take off her hood and her face mask, and she shouts, or no, I imagine she's whispering, "You're alive." And then dramatic page reveal, and it's Juggernaut in all of his massiveness. And he's wearing a neck collar, so I can only imagine that also must be extra massiveness. And he's all like, "Jiminy tap, dancing cricket, Kate! Quiet, Juggernaut." And he's just huge in the room, like maybe 4 of her, maybe? I don't know, it is a stark contrast. So she tells him, the classic finger to the lips, and it's like, "Shh, we thought you were dead. Glad you were wrong." "They told me this adamantium coil I got around my neck is a noose around my neighbor. On it." Because so I guess it's a coil. And I was under the impression that, like, if he moved forward, then whoever it's connected to will also move backwards, essentially. "Don't go anywhere." And then she phases through the wall, and then she gets the update she was not expecting. The day's pleasant surprises were over. I felt a scream in my throat, but I managed to trap it inside. I couldn't tell if he was asleep or drugged, but at least he was alive. And she notices his eyes are sewn shut. I sort of wish he was awake to see what the interaction would be, but maybe he's in so much pain that he's just sleeping, forced or otherwise. I was about to phase him free, but something stopped me. I looked into his body. Those bastards had booby-trapped him. So she comes back to Juggernaut. It's Cyclops. Well, I'm glad I didn't do my impression of the Kool-Aid man. You gonna get him out of here? I can't do anything to help him right now. He's on a dead man's switch. He's a living trigger for some kind of bomb. These bastards in Orchis knew they would be working to spring him all, and they're not making it easy. Don't tell me we're gonna rot and you're just floating away out of here. Which is harsh. Like, he clearly doesn't know her history, but I mean, the thought that she could just float away to nothingness, I mean, that could be triggering. But in this day and age of Orcus, I'm sure that doesn't faze her. So she says no, grasps the coil and just phases it off of him. I'm taking this off for you now, but I need you to buy me some time. Break out tomorrow. If you leave right away, I won't be able to continue my head count. And I'm glad to see you. Last time I laid eyes on you, you looked bad. Thanks, I'm tougher than I looked. The gem that magically heals me, it's literally coursing through my veins. Which I read as he ate it at one point, and so now it's permanently part of him. Even though that's not how food necessarily works. Except, a moment on the lips. Hey, before you ghost out of here, did any of the other X-Men survive? ... I'll tell you everything when you're out, but we're all X-Men now, Marco. Resist. That's just an awesome final page of this segment. And our cast is Shadowcat, Juggernaut, Cyclops, Synch, Talon, Miss Marvel, and Rasputin the Fourth. In the wake of the devastating Orchis attack on the Hellfire Gala that resulted in the disappearance of thousands of mutants, Synch and Talon have stepped up to lead what remains of the X-Men. Joined by Miss Marvel, Lowe's mutant status was only recently discovered. Rasputin the Fourth, a sinister mutant chimera from the future, and Kate Pryde, adopting her former moniker as Shadowcat. Their mission is to save every mutant that they can, no matter what it takes. And this is issue 27, Road Trip. And the Morlock tunnels, and she's updating the rest of the X-Men, which is just nice to know that at the end of the last issue, where Emma chose Tony over her, that she didn't just abandon the X-Men altogether. Like, she's still doing her part. I recovered this heavily damaged Cerebro unit that Orchis had in its evidence locker. Not sure where they got it. Maybe it might have been the Legacy House. If anything is capable of delving to mind to recover memories, it's this. Thought it might help with your next mission, Synch. And so the mission is that they're going to go to Reed Richards and see what he remembers from what Xavier took from him. And Kate ends with, yeah, well, Miss Marvel, running a country was harder than it looked. Good luck in Arizona, which, shout out to Arizona. And Talon is wondering if she wants to come on this with her history with the Fantastic Four. She says, I have no interest in revisiting history at the moment. I don't want to turrips down memory lane with the Richards right now. And so Rasputin the Fourth is ready to go. She got them a automobile. Kamala's surprised that they are driving. We have a data page on Rasputin the Fourth. Rasputin the Fourth's metal skin, brawn, and her name come from Colossus. Mr. Sinister's failed to create her 3 times, hence the number 4. And this is good for me because I missed Sins of Sinister, so I don't have her back story. Colossus, Kid Omega, Eunice, Kate Pryde, and Wolverine, Kenny. However, she has not received the maximum levels of powers from their mutant gifts. For instance, her mental abilities are from Kid Omega, but they are substantially less potent than the powers she took from Colossus. She can phase through walls like Kate Pryde, but unlike her, is unable to use the Kryptonian transit system. Since arriving back in time during the era that would become known as the Fall of X, Rasputin has had a difficult time adjusting. Her closest friend is, or has been, Miss Marvel, because the stories of her future heroics were a legend that she heard many times. Rasputin IV has kept to herself the great tragedies that befall Miss Marvel in the future, knowing she could accidentally make matters worse. Rasputin has instead privately sworn to be at Kamala's side when her trials arrive, to see if she can help change the future and write a better outcome. And then we get another data page, I guess really selling us on Rasputin. People must have wrote in. And so we see her 5 pillars that make up who she is. And so it's choir, telekinesis, level out of 10, but the red bar is below the section. So I don't know. Rasputin, metamorphosis would have been power level 6. And so it's high up on the graph. Then we have Bane, So I've already forgotten who's her 5th person? Oh, Eunice. Force field is the abbreviation, which is a 5, which is below 6, but yet above the 10. So I don't know. Name pride, power, intangibility 4. And we're only getting the first 4 letters of the power, so I'm guessing the best I could do. Name Kenny, power, healing, and that's a 4. So, which is way low below 10. So I don't know how that's whole thing working. And then it's all repeated again. Name Rasputin the 4th, power, telepath 5, intangibility 2. Oh yeah, so these numbers are metamorphosis 6, healing 2, force field 3. And so I guess it's those 5 and then they were combined into 1? I don't know. Since being forced underground literally and figuratively, the X-Men had to get creative. Rasputin had rescued the Lincoln, ripped the engine out, and used her telekinesis to fly to Arizona. So maybe she is telekinesis and telepath? After the disaster in New York, the Fantastic Four quit social media and headed west to Ben Grimm's family farm. See Fantastic Four number 4. Thanks, Jordan. Do you want? So they're flying there. They're trying to talk about how, handle this nicely, everyone. And Rasputin, of course, says, compliance is not a prerequisite for success. If there is information we need here, then we will have it. So Ben shows up wearing overalls and a fishing hat, which is cute. And she doesn't recognize the Fantastic Four, which is interesting. And she's just like, get out of the way, Golem. And he's just like, huh? And then she just punches him in the face. And he just goes flying. And Talon and Synch are not happy about it. And Rasputin just wants answers. So Synch and Talon run off to check on Ben. And then Rasputin the Force about to move forward, but then the Human Torch puts a flame circle around her and trying to get some answers. He recognizes her soul sword, wondering if she stole it from magic, which is pretty fun. He even recognizes the sword. She's tired of all the chit chat and swings her soul sword at Johnny. And he's like, you gotta work harder than that. And then she just sends a telepath message of sleep. And so then he falls on his side and starts sleeping. The mutants weren't the only ones who were going through it at the moment. The Fantastic Four were revived for the events, revered for the events in Manhattan that made the Baxter Building disappear along with their children. Like the mutants, they operated best with their backs to the wall. Which I'm not the deepest follower of the Fantastic Four, but I can't remember that many times where they even had their backs to the wall. And so I don't know how true that sentence is. It's definitely true for the X-Men. I'm trying to think of famous Fantastic Four runs. I've read the majority of the Lee Kirby run, their original run. Chris Claremont and Rob Rocha had an amazing Fantastic Four run. My absolute favorite would be the Mark Waid, Mike Ringo run. Of course, the John Byrne run. Read most of that as well. I'm trying to think of... I'm pretty sure I was reading Fantastic Four after Waid Ringo left, but can't think of what they we're doing of artists after that, or creative types after that. Reed comes out eating some chips in a bag that specifically states chips. Sue's out there as well to bear witness. Reed has a scanner phone and recognizes that Rasputin is a chimera, which is interesting. He uses that term because you mentioned that's a future term, but I imagine what else would it be? He only registers Choir Rasputin Bain Kinney, and Bain's Bain. And Rasputin the Fourth tries to get more answers. Reed can't help. He literally has no memories. And then she puts her arm on Reed and then gets immediately put into a force field. As Sue tries her best to calm the situation. Reed tells Sue that Rasputin the Fourth has 4 powers. And then she says 5 as she phases through the force field, which is cute. Ben's running up now that he's on his feet, and she scarabooms him to the face, which is literally taken from the first Avengers movie when Hulk punches Thor. It imagines what we're supposed to be reminded of. Kamala embiggens her hand so that it separates Rasputin from the Richards. And Rasputin's just tired of this whole thing. Sue's tired, Reed's tired. Everyone's just like, let's get to it. They brought the Cerebro that Kate found and puts it on Rasputin the Fourth's head. We get a memory of Magneto and Charles trying to remove what Reed figured out. Within Reed's mind, the threat remained, but little else of the encounter. Because they need to find a way to make it so that they couldn't, for mutants not to be detected. And so they need to figure out how to do that again so that the Sentinels can stop detecting them at every go. And we see in Reed's mind that it's just an empty cylinder of what it should have been. And then Kamala, due to the active conversation, he's like, it's funny. Charles used that word of me on the night of the attack. He said that the telekinesis that gave me my inhuman gift masked my mutant one. And then Reed just has like a 1,000-yard stare and starts cracking up. And he high fives Kamala's like, it was the T-Miss. I know I used them. And then Kamala shouts, high five, because with a whoa whap. I guess it's cute because, she embiggens, he embiggens. So in higher concentrations, the mist can hurt and even kill, but in lower targeted doses, they can camouflage the X gene. I want to thank you for your contribution to science and invite you to call upon me again later. I think I can help you unlock your mutant gift if you want. I appreciate it. Emma Frost offered to help me too. I'm taking it slow. Understood completely. And Rasputin's done with pleasantries. And then again, the Lincolns just take off. And then Ben and Johnny laughing about how they both want a rematch with Rasputin the Fourth. Johnny's rocking an awesome handlebar mustache. And we cut to... Sue mentions the real monsters, which gets us to Dr. Statius. Statius. And how with Firestar, how he really wants to start... because Juggernaut attempted to escape. And now he is going to really mess with Kane Marco with his mind so that he can operate Juggernaut's body, which we've seen in the future. It covered that Juggernaut and Firestar are going to fight, which I assume was going to be a training exercise with a mind control Juggernaut, but I guess we are going that direction. And Firestar is not happy with the idea of Juggernaut being a mindless, unstoppable machine. And next issue, Jailbreak. And we get Immortal X-Men 16, X-Force 45, X-Men 27 that we just read, X-Men Red 16, Wolverine 38, Astonishing Iceman 3, Children of the Vault 3, Invincible Iron Man 11, Dark X-Men 3, Realm of X 3, Jean Grey 3, Uncanny Avengers 3. So, and none of those came, no, X-Men Red and Immortal X-Men came out this week, but no Kate Pryde or Magic, so we are missing out on those. People are saying they're great, but I don't know, I guess I'm missing out on the whole Rocco. But that concludes issue 27. Speaking of things that are not great, we found out this morning that Keith Griffin passed away, legendary Justice League creator with J.M. DeMantis, one of my all-time favorite writers and absolute favorite Spider-Man writer. And so going through my comics I own, I know I owned their Defenders run at one point, which was just pretty much their Justice League, but done with the Defenders, and it was very hilarious. But I own Beast issue 1 from 1997 and Excalibur 105. So I'm going to pause Loki and I'm going to pause Inferno, so we can knock out those two issues. Tomorrow, I'm hoping I can record one tomorrow for Friday and another one on Saturday. I think that'd be nice. So 2 bonus episodes. We got back from Las Vegas on Monday night, and then Tuesday we pretty much relaxed and did laundry all day. So the whole recording schedule was a bit off this week, but I appreciate everyone's patience and DMs and messages. Really appreciate just everyone being thoughtful about it and inquiring. I finally finished the Amanda Sefton episode of Cerebro with Connor and Dr. Anna Picard on the episode and Pepper. And they actually read my email, which got a fun response. So I appreciate that for Connor for indulging me and saying my name on the podcast, which made me smile very big. So, and I want to say it's towards the 21-minute, the remaining mark. So I don't know what you would call that. So it took a while to rewind the episode and get back to it. But I was like, hey, these are all great emails. And so, if you want to talk to me on social media, you can do that on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Jackal SIII. Oh, Blue Sky as well. You can follow the podcast at Twitter and Instagram at SNFWM. And I'll talk to you next time. All right, everyone. Bye.